What's up, incredible sauce? Welcome to Happiness Headquarters. I am Y311H. Today, before we get to react to the type of videos you have today, let us hear from the Book of Wisdom, aka the Guide of Life. This is what it says. Make sure that nobody pays back wrong for wrong, but always try to be kind to each other and to everyone else. Be joyful always. Pray continually. Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. 1 Thessalonians from 5 from 15 going down. Now, my friend, thank you. You see here, we are on a mission of spreading love, peace, honesty, and forgiveness to the whole world. And we shall be doing that together, my friend, as we react together to these videos that we shall be seeing. So, my friend, kindly hit that subscribe button and the like button and join us every minute till the end. Straight out of Africa, I am Y311H, and it's a pleasure to have you on board today. Let's give thanks to our Creator before we dive in. Thank you, Lord, for your mercies. Thank you for your goodness and your love. Thank you, dear Lord, for life and for this soul that we are with here today. Thank you for your kindness, Father. Thank you for the videos you have today, the fruits, the animals, everything, Lord, that shall be involved. Guide us through and fill us with your Spirit. In Jesus' mighty name, we do pray, trusting and believing. Let's dive in, my friend. Good vibes all the way.
You always have the power to have no opinion, Marcus Aurelius says in Meditations. He says, things are not asking to be judged by you. After decades of the study of Stoic philosophy, decades of work, decades of journaling, he was able to get to a place where he didn't have opinions about stuff, where he understood that things weren't asking to be judged by him, where he was less judgmental. Maybe the rest of us as normal people can start by just expressing fewer of those opinions. Things are not asking to be judged by you, but things are definitely not asking to hear your judgment about them. So as a parent, as a person in the world, as a person going through social media, what if you just kept more of those opinions to yourself? What if you just didn't say anything? What if you just let it go? Maybe that's a good place to start.
You are curious. You know I'm talking to you, don't you? And you really want to come over and see me, don't you? You bring her the little tiny gray mice, don't you? Because I'm seeing little tiny gray ones and I'm seeing the little white ones. But she says she likes the gray ones better.
It's very true what she said about the white mice and all. Because I used to feed her white mice and she wouldn't eat them. She'd just play around with them. Then when I started feeding her gray mice or darker colored mice, she'd eat them right off.
I wanted to know if Celie was aware of like the spiritual world and the world beyond.
Yes, animals, all animals are very much aware of the spiritual world, and they can see non-physical beings with their eyes. They are not afraid of death. Animals are not afraid of death. And I've had older ones that were very sick tell me, I want to go, but I don't want to leave the family because I don't want to hurt them.
Can you tell me why the previous owner of the goat gave him to me?
He said that where he used to live, he was always getting into trouble. He was constantly kicking out the barns, digging underneath the corrals. There was just no way the guy could keep him in. Was this his problem?
That's basically what it was.
But he's very happy where he is. He says he's not in with the female now, though.
No.
He says that female is really a nice, sweet goat.
Imagine catching a shapeshifter on your doorbell camera. I'm up at 2 a.m. scrolling TikTok as one does on a garden gummy when I come across this video. Now, mind you, this video has almost 400 likes, but it had been up for like three days. Now, I can't say for sure if this is a shapeshifter, but you're going to have to watch it and let me know what you think. I've never seen anything like this myself, personally. If y'all missed it, watch his shadow. I'm going to slow it down. Now that video is still up on her page if you want to go see it for yourself. What do y'all think? I've never seen a shadow move like that.
This is the most confusing metal wire puzzle. There's two strands interlocked just in the middle here, and I can take one in either hand, pull them apart, and you can see them moving over each other, but the wires don't want to separate. And I can pull them right to the ends, and you can do this over and over again. It doesn't matter how many times you do it, these wires just aren't going to come apart. So what's happening? You might think that I'm twisting my hands to make the wires spin, but you can see the hands don't move at all. They're staying level, just pulling apart. The wire itself is twisting around and around, but over and over again, and it's still interlinked. So, what's going on?
Guys, we are in a simulation and I just got proof. And I don't usually do videos like this, but I literally just got proof. I can't even talk. This just happened right now and I'm gonna show you proof. My heart is beating a million miles a minute. Okay, so I just finished breakfast, right? Mind you, I'm sitting here by myself and I fell back to sleep after I woke up to go to my morning workout, right? And as I'm eating breakfast, I'm thinking to myself, dude, why was I so exhausted? I went to bed at a decent time for me not to be that exhausted. Why did I fall back asleep? So, you know, it's late morning now. Like, I wanted to get up, you know, and be up by 5:30, 6 o'clock. Then it dawned on me, oh, that's right. We just added a medication to my regimen to help with anxiety. That it's like a bedtime thing. It's a very low dose. And I remember that I took it around 9 p.m., around 9, 10 p.m. And I thought to myself, that might be what it is, right? That I'm taking it too late. So it's like, it's making me groggy or it's making me tired, even though it's not. Anyways, that's the point. So I go, let me put a reminder for earlier in the evening to take it, okay? Guys, I'm going to show you proof of this. So I'm sitting here eating breakfast, watching videos, right? And I go, hey, you know her name? I go, set a daily alarm for 7 p.m. That's all I say, right? She comes back and says to me, and I'm going to show you the proof. She says, a 7 p.m. alarm for your anxiety pill has been set. I didn't say what the alarm was for. I didn't even say it out loud. This was all an internal dialogue that I was having. No one is here. I'm going to freaking show you, because the thing came up at the top. Look. So like I said, I was watching videos. So I was watching this lady's video about, you know, the gossip, whatever. And look at what it says. Look at that. Now, look at how, and one can say, oh, you Photoshop that. Watch this. So this photo, for some reason, I had to crop it because when it's big, you can't see the top. But watch this. Look at the Siri bubble right here. Because she had just spoke it to me. I have never been one to really like feed into those type of things. But if that isn't proof that we're in a simulation, if that isn't proof that these things are reading our minds, that just blew my mind. I don't know.
Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Set a daily alarm for 7 p.m.
I turned on your anxiety pill PM alarm at 7 p.m. starting today.
Stomach Girl, Charmix, Red Rum Beef. I got it all, y'all. I don't want it red and washed and everything else.
If you do the math, it turns out any hole through the earth across any distance between any 2 points is 45 minutes.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, meet the concept of the gravity train. I got one for you.
Okay.
Remember when you were a kid and you joked about, you know, you could just, if you dug a hole through the earth, like you come out on the other side. And
Yes.
here in the United States, everyone said, oh, you dig a hole, like, end up where? Where?
China.
In China, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
that was the whole idea. Yeah.
That was the whole idea. And I remember like researching that when I was early middle school. I might have been in 6th grade. And it was like, first of all, the center of the earth would vaporize you. So this is not a workable thing. Given enough time, I'll dig a hole through the earth and end up in China. That's the first point. Second, if you're gonna go through the earth, chances are you want to go through the center and come out the other side where that takes you. And going through the center from the northern hemisphere puts you in the southern hemisphere. And you're not in China when that happens. So in fact, if you do the geometry on Earth's shape, dig a hole from the United States, come out the other side, you end up in the South Indian Ocean.
Oh, okay. Which,
Yeah.
that's not good.
No, it's not good.
You're just going to end up flooding America.
Oh, because all the water will
You just drained the Indian Ocean into America, so that's not good.
That's not
good.
That's not good. But let's imagine you could do such a thing. All right. So you dig a hole through Earth, all the way through. So Earth's diameter is like 8,000 miles or so. And then you look through and you see some light at the end. So what do you want to do next?
Well, you got to jump in the hole now.
You got to jump in the hole.
That's all I mean, what else is there to do?
Why else do this at all?
Right. I just dug all the way through to the other side of the Earth.
All right. So the funny thing is, if you actually did dig the hole, you don't have to jump through it because you came out the other side having successfully dug it. But let's ignore that detail as well. All right.
Right.
Maybe you had some device that plowed through, like a pineapple corer, right? It just goes through, comes out. There's the hole. So now watch. Now you jump in. Okay. Let me describe what happens. I don't know if you ever thought about this. So there's at all times a force of gravity between you and Earth manifested from Earth's center. And any amount of Earth that is outside of your radius from the center of the Earth has no net effect on how much you weigh or what the force is that's accelerating you. So, in other words, it's brilliant. It's a brilliant, you can demonstrate this as an early physics 101 using Newton's laws of gravity. So watch what happens. As you fall in, there is Earth on the other side of you pulling at you, right? There's like the center of the Earth and all the Earth from there to China, okay, or the Indian Ocean. But then there's the Earth above your head trying to pull you back.
Right.
Okay? It turns out that even though you're getting closer to parts of the Earth on the other side and farther from the parts of the Earth that are above your head, the net force of each of those sides of the Earth exactly cancel on you. And the only thing that matters is how much Earth is between your feet and the center of the Earth. And since that is getting less and less and less, the force of gravity on you is becoming less and less and less. And so your weight, if you paused and weighed yourself, you would start weighing less and less and less until you got to the center where you weigh zero. Nothing. However, this whole time you have been accelerating.
Right.
So you've been moving faster and faster and faster by a lower and lower force of gravity, but your speed continues to increase. And you hit a maximum speed at the center of the Earth. On the way in, it speeds you up. On the way out, it slowed you down. And it's a perfect, ignoring air resistance and monsters in the center, it's an exactly symmetric journey. If nobody grabs you, you'll fall back down the hole. So you got to make sure somebody gets you.
You need a spotter. Somebody's got to catch you. Somebody's got to be
Got to
there.
catch you, okay? You know how long that journey takes?
No.
This is 8,000 miles.
8,000 miles.
8,000 miles. You know how long it takes?
I don't know, an hour and a half.
No, but it's a nice guess. It takes 45 minutes.
Wow.
So let's say nobody does grab you and then you come back. So then you'll emerge, how many minutes later? Back where you started?
45 minutes.
Another 45 minutes. So 45 minutes plus 45 minutes, there's your hour and a half.
There's an hour and a half.
So now watch.
Round trip.
The round trip is an hour and a half to get back to where you were. By the way, that's the same amount of time it takes for a satellite to orbit the Earth.
Oh, snap!
Oh, snap!
Oh, that is awesome!
Oh, that takes a Z-snap on that one.
Yeah, because it's in free fall.
It's in free fall the entire way. Both of you are in free
ways.
fall. So now, if you don't want to use fuel to get from any one place to another, what happens if you just simply dug holes between any pair of places on Earth, whether or not you go through the center? So here we are on the East Coast. Let's dig a hole through the Earth to California. It won't go through the center of the Earth, no, because it'll cut through sort of sideways a little bit, all right? But it's still a hole, all right? How long will that take? If you do the math, it turns out any hole through the Earth across any distance between any 2 points is 45 minutes.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, meet the concept of the gravity train. So that's a gravity train. That's what happens if you jump through. Again, ignoring the Middle Earth creatures, the monsters, the undersea trolls, and all the rest. So I hope I settled that for you.
That is cool, man.
That goes back to elementary school.
I have let the world know about vampires. This is what I'm being accused of by a lot of people. Single-handedly. Me. No one knew about them before me. At all. Period. And now they have been exposed. After thousands and thousands of years of being hid, undetected, without anyone ever knowing anything about them, I done blew up their spot. These are the people who believe Columbus discovered America, I see. I know one thing for sure. Anne Rice is sitting in her grave like, because before I made my TikTok, there were no movies about vampires or books or interviews, like real life interviews. I'm not talking about the movie Interview with the Vampire. I'm talking about an actual interview of a vampire. Also, you can't schmoogle any information about them, but schmoogle with a G. Can Takashi 69 enter the room? Well, we snitching. Mermaids exist. Aliens exist. Demons exist. In fact, lots of you all partake with them every single weekend. It's called alcohol, also named alcohol. Dinosaurs were dragon. Look, let me explain something to you all. While you all might be frightened of vampires, as a black woman in America, there are things that I find far more frightening. Also that I've come in close contact with, like fuckboys. You're worried about evils in the world like Palatine isn't going on right now. Fairy, phase, everything else. This is what I'm saying. Your mind creates things. Let me explain something to you. There is nothing new under the sun. If you can think it, it exists. If someone thought it, it exists. Everything begins with a thought. A thought then manifests. Well, then why can't I manifest $1 million? I want to be rich. Because as soon as you speak out your mouth and try to manifest $1 million, you also manifest the fact that it is impossible. I've had people let me in on their little secret and they're like, don't tell nobody. They didn't say don't tell nobody. In fact, I don't know anyone who's had any contact with any supernatural beings that were told I could keep a secret. But since clearly the veil is lifting, maybe there are people like me and others who are kind of speaking of their experiences now, are speaking of them so that perhaps when other people can see and experience what we experienced, it won't be so scary. I'm just saying, don't be mad at me about my vampire story. If it makes you feel better, just think of it as a story. It's just a story. It's not like I brought them out in front of you. Come in now. It's your cue. Shy. But no, seriously. Like, it is not that serious. I did not expose anything that people don't have knowledge about. And while people in there talking about, oh, I guess you believe in Santa Claus too. And do. What do you think the spirit of Christmas is? And if you don't believe that exists, then why are people so generous around that time? Why are people donating things? Why do mothers miraculously come up with enough money to give their kids a great Christmas when they couldn't even afford to pay bills last month? The spirit of Christmas is in the building. Come on, it's so cute.
Albert Einstein once said, everyone's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its whole life believing that it's stupid.
Do you realize that the single greatest piece of government propaganda ever perpetrated on the American people has been in your face every single day on multiple platforms since 1990? Do you want to know what it is?
Why is there salt on my floor?
Because witches can't cross salt, and I'm playing Call of Duty.
But it worked. It worked. I gotta give it to the boy. It worked. She didn't.
Medical things they don't tell you, part 43. If you're a heavy smoker, let's say you've smoked for 20 years, a pack a day, and you reach the age of 50, nowadays screening guidelines are saying that you can actually get a CT scan of your chest to see if there's any early stage cancer that we can catch in your lung. Now, the criteria, like I said, is you're either age 50, you've smoked for 20 plus years, or you haven't stopped smoking within the last 15 years. So if you started smoking from 18 and you stopped at, let's say, 33, then by the time you're 50, you'd actually be out of that range and you would not need to get screened. Stop smoking.
Don't cross your arms, don't cross your legs, be nice, smile, lie through your teeth, right? But feet, we haven't been told to control. So it's paying attention to when people are talking. So now, let's see, come on up, Brahman. All right, so you guys saw this earlier with the bully exercise. So if you and I are talking and our feet are talking like this, do you feel comfortable coming into the group?
No, I'm gonna wait over here.
Right, but if while we're talking we want to allow other people in, then you can open up one of the feet, right? So it's not angling both feet away, it's still talking to each other. But if we've got our foot open like this, so open your foot just a little bit. Now do you feel more comfortable coming in? So if you want to tell people we're not having a closed conversation, when you're talking to someone, you can angle a foot out. Now, if we're having a one-on-one conversation, keep our feet like this, just lets people know this is a private conversation. Does that make sense? So when you're networking and you're inviting people in stuff and you're walking people around, are your feet inviting people in or are your feet closing people out?
5 cool facts about the brain. Number 1, when a person is heavily intoxicated, the brain can't form new memories. So it's not that they forgot the memories next day, they just didn't form them. Number 2, the brain is composed of 75% water. So when you're sweating a lot, your brain is actually shrinking. Number 3, the brain is the fattiest organ in the body. It's composed of 60% fat. Number 4, the brain continues to develop until you're 25 years old. And lastly, 95% of our decisions are subconscious, meaning that the majority of our actions and behaviors is due to brain activity that is beyond our conscious awareness.
I don't know who needs to hear this. I think a lot of people, okay? But when you drink water and you're like, oh, I drink water, I must not be absorbing it. I need electrolytes because I'm peeing a lot. Because I'm drinking water and it's just going straight through. So when you drink water, it's not like, oh, it goes, you drink your water, it goes to your stomach, and then it goes to the bladder and you pee it out, okay? The pathway, the digestive pathway, it doesn't go to the bladder, okay? So here's how it works. You drink your water, okay, goes to your stomach, and it goes in your intestines. And in the intestines, all the water is absorbed. All the water is absorbed, and it goes into your bloodstream, and now it's in your body. Woo, yay, we're hydrated. Okay, and it's in your bloodstream, and it's traveling around. And as your cells are growing or doing work, they are producing waste products that are building up in the bloodstream. And so that's why you need a constant flow of water and pee, because whenever there's a lot of water in your bloodstream, the blood pressure gets higher, right? Because you have more water, more fluid. And then that tells your kidneys, because your kidneys filter all of the blood in your body. So what they do is they filter out the liquid from the blood and the waste. They will add and remove electrolytes from the urine, okay, in your kidneys, and then it goes to the bladder, and then you pee it out, and that's how you get rid of your body's waste products. Like, you need to have excess water to pee out because your body's constantly using water, and you need water to remove waste. That's why it's like urine is like uric acid or urea. I don't know what humans make, okay? The path of your digestive system, remember, is you eat it, it goes in your stomach, it goes in your intestines, and then it doesn't come out as number 1, okay? It comes out as number 2. So if you were drinking water and your body was not absorbing it, you would be having liquid diarrhea, okay? So you don't need to add like salt or electrolyte packets. Like, a pinch of salt in your water is not changing the osmolarity enough of it to like make you absorb it if your body wasn't absorbing it. So if you're drinking water and you're peeing a lot, that by definition means your body is absorbing the water because it was absorbed through the intestines into the bloodstream, and then it's filtering out toxins, okay? Or you're just drinking, I wouldn't say too much water because you need a constant supply of water. You're drinking a lot of water, and so your body's like, cool, we don't need to preserve water, so we can pee it out. If your body was not absorbing the water and you needed the salt or whatever to make your body absorb the water, it would travel through the intestines and you would have liquid diarrhea, okay? So if you're peeing a lot after drinking a lot of water, you're good. Your body is absorbing the water. If you're drinking a lot of water and you have diarrhea, that is probably really bad.
This recent mysterious footage was just released on July 25th, 2024. It occurred in Reconquista, Argentina. Some witnesses were out late at night when they spotted a strange unknown creature laying on the road. The creature is jet black and it's hunched over in a grotesque position. Its arms are very long and skinny and they seem to come to a point at the ends. It also has a big round head and a slender body. It just sits there moving its head around slightly. Some immediately speculated this was just a dog or a cat. However, it's bigger than a cat, and also its arms are way too long to be a dog. The way its elbows bend inwards, dogs can't bend their limbs like this, so it's impossible to be a dog. Zooming in closer, it almost looks human-shaped. Perhaps a human-dog hybrid or something. Whatever it was, the witnesses had no clue, and it looks like we have no clue as well. Let me know what you guys think it could be in the comments down below.
This world is not what we have been told. But they tell us, just very discreetly, like how this trail here is called the Dragon Head Trail. And it just happens to be right next to the Dragon Canyon. And this giant dragon takes up almost the entire state of Utah. And you can see it here, outlined in red right to its head. And how the belly of the dragon trails just literally probably happen to be the belly or the insides of a giant dragon. And when you go to the other side of the country and see similar things that are located right there, just also happen to be the insides of another giant petrified dragon with its spewing there and its mouth here and eyes there and its body almost the entire East Coast. And then when you leave the United States and go across the earth and you check out the Mayan volcano and see another dragon clear as day, and you realize the real reasons that volcanoes exist. But of course, this was all for entertainment purposes. I know this is just some sort of pareidolia.
So I have proof that fairies exist. So a week ago, a woman posted a photo claiming to have found a little fairy sword. She actually made a post about it. Soon after, the post completely blew up. This is the original post. I mean, that definitely does look like a little tiny little fairy sword. Another woman came forward and said that she actually found this in her yard. It looks like a bow and arrow type of thing. Another person came forward and said that he had actually collected these like over time. He would constantly be looking for them. If you look closely, they look like little makeshift weapons. And then this last one, I mean, it definitely looks like all different shapes, probably used for all different things. You guys know I'm super open-minded when it comes to all this stuff, all the paranormal, all of just folklore and like urban legends. I always believe there's some truth to it, but when it comes to fairies, I'm 100% convinced that they do exist. There are many claims stating that they were actually out and about, like back in the 1300s. Like they were just out just like you and me, but humans would capture them and do horrific things to them to the point that they decided to just all go into hiding. And the reason why they don't ever come out when humans are around is because they're terrified of us. But regardless, what do you guys think?
Guys, it happened again. I went to Publix the other day, me and my daughter, and as we're walking into the store, I feel very uneasy in my spirit. I'm talking about so uneasy that I cannot even concentrate. I go and I'm about to walk in the store. I'm like, Lord, what is going on? Why am I feeling like this? Like, what? This was probably a lot, 10 times worse than I'm usually feeling with discernment. Like, it was like at an all-time high. As soon as we begin to walk in the store, my daughter, you know, we're holding hands. We always hold hands when we walk in public. And I immediately see this. I'm not even gonna call it a guy. I see this thing walk up to me that looks like a human, but I know it is not. He literally tries to fist bump me. I was like, I look him dead in his eye. I said, I don't do that. The look on his face when I told him that was almost priceless. Then he proceeded to say, oh, I need $49. I'm like, no, I don't have any money to give you. So then I grab my daughter and I walk off. And the uneasy feeling that I was feeling, it eased up a little bit. But it didn't ease up. It eased up probably, I'd say 75% of the way. Later, I realized my daughter's in the store, me and her in the store. She's like, Dad, my head's hurting. So I began to pray over her. And I realized that the guy's wife, or whatever it was in the store too. And I knew that this thing was not human. I don't care. You can say I'm crazy, but I'm learning now as I'm walking more with Christ, I'm starting to be able to discern who is human and who is not. This thing is very deep. And so I walked away. But I'm telling you now, if I had fist bumped this guy, or if I had given him money, or either or, what I think they were trying to do was come into agreement with my finances because he was asking me for money. Then he asked me for $49. That's a strange. Why would somebody ask you for $49? Why would somebody be carrying $49 in cash? That doesn't even make sense. So I knew that there was something going on with that too. I knew that there was something going on. So I just want to tell you, you need to really watch out and make sure that you are discerning what is going on around you. Because these things cannot just walk up to you, okay? They cannot. The Lord has to allow it. But I knew that it was a test because the first time I failed. I touched that thing and I paid dearly. This time I was like, oh no, my antennas immediately went back to the guy that touched me the first time. And let me tell you something. Even though these guys were they were different, they had very, very similar everything. Like, it's almost like there's a certain, I can't explain it, but you can see them with your spiritual eyes. You can tell. Ask the Lord to open your spiritual eyes to see when somebody's human and when they're not. But I'm telling you, we are not just walking amongst each other. There are certain seeds of Satan that exist, and they cannot go to heaven. That's why you cannot preach to everybody, and you cannot pray for everybody, and you cannot touch everybody. I'm not telling you live in fear, but have discernment. Okay? So that's all I wanted to say on this video.